Hello everybody, welcome back to FusioCraft. Fun fact, as soon as I finished recording last episode, I got bovid, and I was pretty sick for a while. But I'm back, and last time I've been working out these rocks out here in the ocean, and I went to this conclusion that I really needed to return to Ezo Island. And guess what I've been doing? You may notice that some of these trees weren't here before. I'm back on that tree grind. I'm building up every tree where there was once a dirt pillar, and I've only got a few left. I swear these cows are somehow breeding behind my back, somehow, because there's so many. I swear there was only like 7 of them, but I don't know. So after considerable work on the mountain a few months ago, and me coming to the conclusion that moss is the best temporary block to build things, shape things up, I've been using moss blocks to shape these trees, and yeah, it's way better than what I was doing before with dirt. The building and shaping process is far less annoying. Punching out moss where I don't want it is much easier than with dirt, where I usually want to switch to my shovel. So I just go in here and I build up some branches. This tree is going to be intentionally a little smaller than the ones around it because, well, it's kind of surrounded already. And just to add a little more variability, I'm just, altering the size of each tree a little bit. I don't want all of them to be the same size. There will be bigger ones, there will be smaller ones. So something like this ought to do quite nicely, I think. That's my general idea, and you can build it up here pretty easily at the base. Now, one thing I did differently with this tree is have these branches swing down a little more than the others, a little akin to that willow type tree that I built at spawn, and I think this looks really cool. What I've been doing with the other trees is nice too, just having them kind of just spread outwards. So I don't know, maybe I'll have these trees do both, like maybe I'll incorporate this a little bit into these other trees. But that's what I'm thinking about right now with this tree, is trying to incorporate that a little more. Although this is a small one, so I think this is pretty good. Look at that. And now I can go in here and essentially, paint the correct blocks in the correct areas. Now some of these are actually going to remain moss, and it doesn't actually really become super clear until I've kind of replaced it all with wood, where I like that moss to go. But I like to build up moss into the trunk because it really makes it look that much more ingrained into its surroundings. I haven't done too much for the final details of these trees. I'm mostly just trying to build the trees themselves, and then I'm gonna just go in and super focus on the landscaping of the ground everywhere. But yeah, moss is easy for just general shaping and placing, but it's also really good for helping make me put these logs in the correct orientation that I want them in, and it is that easy. So easy, in fact, that I just finished the entire island's trees. Oh yeah, it's finally happened, baby. That was the annoying part, and now I can really start going in with the rest. I've already started with a little bit of the groundwork because I got really carried away. As soon as that last tree was in, I started going crazy. Not all of the fine details are done yet, not even on the trees. I still need to finish up the glow lichen. I need to finesse with the glowberry vines. But look at this, I'm a huge fan of what I've got going on here with the roots kind of going down this hillside. I think the tree right here turned out really well. I almost wish there was more elevation to this place so I could do this a little more. We walk up here and I've planted more big spruce trees in between, some tiny spruce trees in the little gaps. So now this place is starting to feel really, really forested and wild. And from a distance, it really conveys that as well. Look at this place. Oh, this is a place that you want to explore, right? So with this little drip leaf path, and then this path starting right here, this should hopefully be a very fun little adventure to anyone who may wander upon this place. I do have one quarrel so far, and that is this tree specifically. I tried to do the same type of willow type thing as this tree, but for some reason, I don't know, I did it all the way around, and it comes off as a giant palm tree, kinda? I don't know, it doesn't look the best. I think I'm going to have to alter this tree a little bit later. But I am so done with trees at the moment, so for right now, I'm just gonna work on the terraforming. I'm gonna work out this path. I'm gonna work out the rest of the landscaping around here, the bushes and everything, the lichen on the trees. Oh, and it's about time that I finally start looking back into this cliffside again. This should also take me not that long. I just want to build up a bit of a cliff over here, and that should give me a little bit more ground cover, not a huge amount. I think I've technically already pushed out the land right here more than it was before. And just for the sake of making this entire area feel consistent, these last few trees should get replaced with the big spruce trees as well. Progress report. I have planted all the trees over here, and I guess that finally does it for all of the replanting of the forest over here. This was the last bit I had left to do. There was a frog living here this whole time. There's a few more smaller trees to plant in here, but I don't really think I need to go in with finer details. It's kind of just a background element of the area. I've also got those cliffs done, and they're looking really nice. I brought in some mossy cobble onto the top edges, kind of like what I did with the big rocks. Right over there. Yeah, I'm like mirroring what I was doing over there because that makes it consistent, you know? It makes it feel like it's all part of the same area. I ought to build some of these rocks on the sandy side of this island. That's another thing I gotta do. Oh, another bit of progress. I put a bunch of green frogs on the island. I bred a bunch up and I brought them over here. So now, as you're walking along, you find a bunch of silly little froggies walking around. And this guy, you're not a frog. Oh, there's one. Amazing. Yep, it's looking really good so far. Oh yeah. That makes it just, oh, I love this stretch. Very satisfying cliffside I did here. I'm glad I came up with that idea. And now for the path. Hopping back over to the island because I finished the path. Oh yeah, nailed it. See, I'm good at parkour sometimes. Well, I fleshed it out based on what was already up there from what I started last year. And I put in more moss too than originally was in that little framework. I'm tempted to go in here and put in a little packed mud, maybe some rooted dirt, but I don't want this path to look too complicated either. I don't want it to look too noisy. I think as it stands, it's pretty good. It's just enough, you know, to look like it's been super overgrown, that there used to be more of a path here, but it's kind of mostly been abandoned. There's some little things I still need to do. I feel like I need to put in a little more grass in the middle of the path to give it that overgrown, abandoned feel. And I also expanded upon this broken up fence along the beach. I'm experimenting with putting some trapdoors in between these posts because, you know, this diagonal looks that much better with the trapdoor there, and it doesn't connect, so there's still this feeling of disconnectivity. I'm toying with bringing it over here too. Like, there just used to be more of a fence along this section of land that kind of separated it from the beach. And I like what I'm kind of starting to figure out here, and I might bring that over to an area over there maybe, in a more developed, not broken apart form. Not sure yet, but I really like beachside fences, and I thought it would be a comfy little thing to kind of divvy up this area that much more. Honestly, I think this area really needs it because there's so far not really much going for this sandy part of the island yet. I'll figure this area of the island out later because I am back to this island. I finished the shaping for this thing last night and I'm starting to go down and put in all of the blocks that are going to color and paint this thing to make it look awesome. Right now I just have the grass, the moss, and most of the mossy cobble. And now I'm going to go in with the andesite and the normal stone. And then I'll figure out where to put some diorite here and there, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this is my workstation right now, up on this platform where I'm going to build a tiny little house. Back here, the cliffs are that much more steep compared to the rest of the structure. There's a little grass patch over here where I'm going to plant a tree. I think this foundation came out really nice, and I cannot wait to see it when it's complete. I also really like how the archway has come out. I did a little more shaping to it, made this section a little bigger, and I made this section come out a little more, and I think it looks really good now. Especially with the blocks on top now, just it makes you really want to walk on top of it now. One thing I'm going to do with this island that I'm also going to bring to these ones is I'm going to put a layer of normal stone in between the andesite and the tuff to make it that much better of a transition, because that's what I did on Ezo Island, and I feel like, I don't know, there's a lack of consistency if I did it to the cliffs on Ezo Island, but I didn't do it for these rocks when they use the same top and bottom rock for their gradient, because it does look really good like that. So I'm gonna go in and make those updates and finish terraforming this thing. Well, I guess not terraforming, but painting. That's what I'm referring to it as. All this block replacement, it's like I'm painting green. I'm painting grass down this little pathway. Alrighty, lots of texture work has been going on, and I think the island is finally looking the way I want it to look. Minus the house. So I've fully gone in here with all of the detailing work with all the rocks, including all these little half slabs and stairs and stuff. I do need to put a few diorite patches here and there. That's still something I need to do. But up here, we've got this kind of big platform for the house. It's going to be a small house. I'm going to try to figure something cool out because I was trying to figure something out in creative, but with this limited space, it started becoming kind of just, I don't know, any other just little shack, and I wanted it to have something unique to it. I think I need to bring out something more oceanic in it, I guess. Like, this isn't just a little house. This is a little house that's on a giant rock in the middle of the ocean. But this is my current focus right now. And the other thing that I did to this island, it's a little thing to give it some more life. I brought in some goats. There's a baby one. I'm breeding them up here. I had to look up what they eat because I've never actually bred goats before. I'm starting to realize, how come this block never got replaced? There we go. I took a few one-horners from off of that mountain where I got the foxes. And yeah, now I'm gonna breed them up here. I think if I breed them up enough, I'll make some screaming goats eventually. So this island may become a project where I'm just trying to create screaming goats out here. Because I kinda really want them for their unique horns. Apparently a lot of them are just swimming now. That's cool. It's fun breeding up animals on an island because it's not like they're going to just kind of spread out and invade everywhere else. Oh my gosh, both of the babies are taking a swim! Sup, fellas? I love that they don't have horns yet. I feel like I should name this island Bighorn Island. You know, with the goats here, and that was like a theme of Sea Ranch, that place I used to go to as a kid. Yeah. Bighorn Island. I like it. I'm over here by Calcite Cove right now. I did a little work trying to make this area more gravelly. Throwback to when there used to be land here. And for the longest time, this area has just been one big clear-cut section of where land used to be, and it looked ugly, and I haven't done anything about it until now. So now it's a shallow, gravelly section of this little cove, and I want to boat back to Bighorn Island because I've got a fun surprise. You can already see it off in the distance. I've built the house up there. What? What? Are they actually able to swim to the mainland? What are you doing out here? Yeah, I've been breeding up more goats, and it looks as though this one wants to go back to the mainland. But nope. Oh my gosh, that wasn't even intentional. I completely forgot about that achievement. Well, after all these months, I finally floated with a goat. But anyways, I'm gonna go around to the back where I have a little dock section jutting out over here. Oh yeah, I thought the house up there was already cool enough, but I wanted a little dock in the back here, and I think I'm gonna build a small boat right next to this dock. But for now, I got the boat goat. Boat goat, you can chill here as your punishment for trying to escape the island. But if we go up here, we've got the back door entrance to this little house. I love mangrove logs, and I'm once again using it as the main material of this house. I felt as though Lily of the Valley flowers suited this build a little bit. Like, it's not necessarily an abandoned house, it's just kinda run down, and whoever lives here likes to stay alone. We go in here, and the interior has a slight shift in elevation. I ought to go through and really decorate this interior because it's not that big of a job, and it would be really comfy to see this thing actually looking livable. Like, I gotta flesh out the chimney on the inside here because I've got one on the outside. Put in a few things, maybe like a little kitchen area, storage and whatnot. But then we go out here, and this is my favorite part, the porch. The porch makes this thing looks so good. It wasn't until I added the porch that the design really felt like it was coming together. That and the chimney. It's crazy how much I was struggling with liking this design until I started adding more exterior components. Like, I think that's a really good tip. No matter how small or simple the shape of the actual house is, you can add these exterior details and it makes it look that much more interesting. But yeah, you can see how much the Lily of the Valley fits with this little house. I love the simple little chimney on the side of it, the kinda dead underbelly underneath the porch. It's a comfy little house for a comfy little island, and I'm really, really proud of this thing. Like, come on, that is so picturesque. This entire thing, the fact that it's got this archway, the fact that it's got a little beach, I went all out with this one. This island might just be the GOAT, and I'm not just saying that because of all these dudes. Aw yeah, the miracle of life. I will be taking these, thank you very much. These will go nicely inside of my new little house. I'm out here stealing unborn turtles because I have figured out the interior of this little house on the rock. Ooh, it's about to get real cozy up inside here. This is my little box of tricks, and I'm going to really trip out this interior starting now. And that is it. Boom! This place feels really lived in now. I really like doing these tiny little interiors. Something about figuring out a very small, comfy, cozy little space like this makes me so happy. I can really fine-tune and help tell the story of whoever lives here. Like, for example, it's clear that they obviously eat a lot of kelp. I mean, it makes sense. They're right here out in the ocean, kind of in the middle of nowhere. And then of course it's obvious that they collect some things at the ocean, like this coral, some turtle eggs that they found. My favorite detail about this place is that they're really into plants, specifically ferns. They like to put a bunch of little potted ferns everywhere. I think looking up and around and seeing all these ferns just really ties it all together, which is why I also made the bed and the candles here green. I feel like this little shack screams green, and green goes very good with what I'm seeing here. You go out front, and that's kind of obvious just by the fact that it's kind of this green spot on this rock. I may try to bring out more green on the outside here that I think about it, because you know what? Why not push it even further? We've already got a green chimney. A really cool detail that I just figured out when I came up here looking for some of those interior bits is that you can actually fly all the way down to that island without using rockets at all, and it's a really fun glide. Check this out. We just go down the mountain. We pass over Calcite Cove. I forgot the cat heads are still on that antique store. We pass by my house. We pass through these islands. And we swoop up. And it's like a perfect landing. It's almost as if I spaced that out perfectly so you could go all the way from that ledge on the mountain down to this little shack. But I got here the last few things that I forgot. That's a good one. And that is some good old-fashioned classic paintings. You know, I was about to punch that one out, but that one's also really good too. I think the luck of the draw came out pretty well with those two. And there we have it. Let me really full screen this. This is a very, very satisfying little project that I've embarked on. This is really getting me back into the Minecraft mood. Like, you may have noticed I'm still a bit slow these days. But yeah, these islands have really been invigorating me creatively, and this is reminding me, once again, just why I love Minecraft so much. Big news, I was walking around here earlier and I have a screamer. Somewhere, one of you is screaming. Is it one of you? How are there 3 of you here? What? I know it ain't you because you're one of the OGs. This guy taking a swim, is it you? Are you the— No, you're also— Scream for me, baby. It's you! It's you! The little baby is screaming! Because I can only tell which one is which by their noises, I'm going to try to separate 2 of them so I can start breeding up the screamers. So long as these guys don't know how to open and close doors, I think I should just put them in this shack. It seems they don't even know how to go up decks. Come on! This is so funny. Come on in, make yourself at home, scream all you want. Munch, munch. Yeah, grow up. None of the others are screamers, but it should be this much more likely that the baby is a screamer if I breed with one of the others. Come on, baby. I can't tell which one is which. Oh, yep, the baby screams! This is it. I've got 2 of them. You know what that means also? You, get out of here. Alright, sweet. Friggin' sweet, Lois. I got 2 screaming goats, and I think that's what I'm gonna call it for this episode. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's been a comfy old time here on Bighorn Island and, of course, Ezo Island back there. It's a pleasure having you here. Look at that guy back there, hanging his head over the porch. There's a deep longing in his eyes. A longing to see the world out there. Get me off of this rock!